On today's episode of the Views from 6400 podcast, football is back. NFL football is back. We have a game tonight. Matt's Eagles taking on the Cowboys at the Link. Going to be a great game. We're going to preview that, and we're going to preview every week one game with our confidence picks back for 2025. I think we started around week 9 last year, so we'll have the full 18 weeks of confidence picks this time around. We also have our winners and losers, and if you're listening to the show, it'll finish off with our live stream of our NFL fantasy draft we did last night. If you're watching, there'll be a banner up above my head right now. Click on that after you watch the podcast. Go ahead and watch the live stream we did last night. We'll have some special guests on, some guest pickers. Ben, who won the league last year, he will stop by. Going to be a lot of fun. But before all that, we have an Eagles versus Cowboys preview, and it starts right after this.
And just like that, we're back.
A16, turn me up.
No delaying it. Matt, your Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles are back in action, playing the Cowboys. First time the Eagles and Cowboys have opened the season since 2000. Eagles won 41-14. It was Andy Reid's first ever game coached, and they called it the pickle juice game because it was 109 degrees in Dallas, and the Eagles had to use pickle juice to stay hydrated.
So there's a lot to get to here, and we will address all of what you just said, but just to address all the fans who aren't necessarily Cowboy or Eagle fans, the NFL's back. We're here. It's live tonight. We get real football that everybody cares about. I know we had college, whatever. The NFL's back. The NFL is king. I'm bursting with energy right now, man. I'm so excited to be back. The Birds open up the night for the first time in what feels like forever against the Cowboys and forever. I don't even know how old I was for the pickle juice game, but who even won the game? Who even won the game?
The Eagles won 41-14. Andy Reid's first ever game.
Good juju in a blowout. We'll get to predictions, but I'm really excited. The Super Bowl champ always opens up the season. Cowboys obviously have a lot of controversy that they kind of self-inflicted on themselves all summer long between contracts and interesting coaching hires and Jerry Jones just not being able to keep himself out of the media and running it as a reality TV show down there in Dallas and Irvine, California as well, since they need to do training camp out there. But I'm really excited, man. Eagles football is back. The NFL in general is back. And I'm pumped to talk about this game and really kind of look forward into week 1.
Yeah. And I mean, obviously a lot of optimism around Philadelphia. I don't think you need even more reason to be optimistic about this game. But the Eagles have won 5 straight openers as the home team, 4 straight at home, and then last year they were the home team in Brazil. That's the most since 1947, and we'll get to something else about 1947 later when I make my prediction for this game, because there's another record that might be broken here. But I mean, 3 out of the last 4 against the Cowboys. The Eagles outscored them 75-13 last year, and I think the Cowboys got worse, and the Eagles.
Last year helped kind of move the agenda against Dak Prescott owning the Eagles, which he does have a good record against the Eagles. He didn't play them last year, so I want to proceed with caution. We don't know what we're going to get out of Dak. They did upgrade the offense a little bit. CeeDee Lamb returning, should be healthy after missing the end of last year. George Pickens. I'm all over the place.
He's wearing number 3 too, which is going to look weird.
Who, CD is?
George Pickens.
George Pickens, yeah. So George comes in, upgrade over what they've had. And I mean, Michael Gallup, Robert Turpin. I mean, those have been the guys that have been the wide receiver twos for them. So a pretty big
pre-injury Michael Gallup was okay. He was good. I
mean, the last wide receiver 2 I remember them having was Miles Austin. As being it's serviceable.
And he played with Dez. Yeah, that was a long time ago.
Yeah, a long time ago. So definitely a step above. Early concerns would be the cornerback 2 position for the Eagles. Could be a long night for Adoree Jackson. Could be yanked by halftime for all we know. That's a very concerning.
Giants legend Adoree
Giants
Jackson.
legend Adoree Jackson. There's a reason they didn't re-sign him. But Quinyon Mitchell should be able to at least lock down half the field, which presumably will have CeeDee Lamb associated with it. And which leads me to believe George Pickens could have a big night. I know the Eagles defense is good, but that cornerback 2 position I'm concerned about, man. I'm concerned until I'm proven otherwise. They didn't really do enough, in my opinion, to shore up that spot. And the cornerback position, as you know, very important. The Cowboys throw George Pickens out there. Could be a big night. Wouldn't be surprised if Pickens, a bold prediction would be 100 yards, but I think Pickens can easily go over 50 yards. I'm not sure what his over-under set at. If his over-under is below 50 on receiving yards, I think that's a really, really, really nice line.
Yeah, so Dak's number is at 242.5. And I thought that was really interesting. Dak hasn't thrown for over 179 yards in 3 years in an opening game. And one of those years he threw for 143 is against the Giants when the Giants lost 40-0 a couple of years ago. Game I don't really want to remember, so you can't blame him for that.
That was an interesting opening night game for I guess first week game for the Giants, to say the least.
Yeah, it was Sunday Night Football. It was really bad. Noah Igbenoghe had a blocked PAT or a punt or something. He scored a touchdown. It was really sad. But either way, that's a number you might want to look at for a bet, maybe a little under. If you want to check out all the bets we make, we'll give out some right now, but there's more, and they're on our roundtable that's out probably right now as you're listening to this, unless you are listening right when the podcast gets released. And if you are, we appreciate you for that. But it's coming out at 8 a.m. tomorrow, which is today on Thursday. But yeah, I might throw a little money on that Dak under. Also, the Javonte Williams, his line is 34.5. He's really bad at football. I would not be scared of you might be scared of the George Pickens, maybe the CB2 position, but the Cowboys might not be able to run the ball at all in this game.
Yeah, I'm not worried about the run game at all. I think they should be down early and quickly in this game as well, which means Dak's going to have to air it out. So that's kind of why I was leaning that Pickens line. I don't know anything about the run game. I know they got that guy last name Blue from Texas last year, Jadon Blue. So I'm not sure what he's going to do. I'm not sure what their running back attack looks like, but if
they do have former Eagle Miles Sanders in the backfield for a revenge game here.
I think he's their RB3. So I don't see a revenge game in his cards, fortunately for them. But he just, he was in Saquon's shadows for all those years, got drafted after Saquon. Different. Saquon went top 5. Miles Sanders second round, which who knows, maybe Sanders even got drafted a little bit overhyped because of how good Saquon was. And they were like, well, this guy was right in his footsteps. So he's got, you're looking at his career, he really was probably like a 3rd, 4th, 5th round pick at best. So Miles Sanders in the Saquon shadow didn't really progress well for him.
Yeah, I think it was kind of the Zeke Elliott, Tony Pollard factor where Saquon got all the carries and then Sanders would come in and look electric because he had such fresh legs. Right. And he was good when Saquon wasn't there, but wasn't great. I think everyone looked at that tape when Saquon was there and they're like, there's something in there.
There's something in there, and that's why he went as high as he did in the second round. And that was also a time when the Eagles were so desperate for running back help. They were kind of fun. Ryan Matthews was a guy who was like coming off a great year and a guy they were leaning on who, give me a break. The guy, they were not signing him to a long-term deal. I know LeGarrette Blount and that Super Bowl team, Jay Ajayi came in on a half a knee. So there was guys there rotating in there that were serviceable. They won a Super Bowl, but Miles Sanders, I'm not scared of tomorrow night out of the Cowboy backfield. I would be the most concerned over this Blue guy. Fresh legs, rookie running back, was electric at Texas. Not 100% sure what the Cowboys offensive line has to give. I know they've been great in years past.
Yeah, not as good anymore. The issue with Blue is he missed a lot of camp, or not a lot, but towards the end of camp, he was dealing with a hamstring. So I don't know how much. I'm sure he's healthy, but if he missed some of that time, especially for a rookie, you might not want to throw him into the fire against Jordan Davis and that big D line Philly.
Yeah,
has.
Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis is a tough interior defensive line to go up against. I know I said on the previous shows, slightly concerned over the edge rushers. We'll see. I know Jalix Hunt had a nice year last year in a rotational role and stepped up big in the Super Bowl, which was great to see. And Nolan Smith, great talent, really progressing well. Has had issues with the injuries, so. It's going to be interesting for me. Things to watch is all on the Eagles defense. I know what I'm going to get with the offense. A.J. Brown's back. Devontae Smith's back. Dallas Goedert should be healthy. The offensive line, we know what they are. Saquon Barkley, whether they are going to lean on him as much as they did last year, which I don't think they will, but you know what you're going to get with the Eagles offense. Jalen Hurts knows how to coexist with all those different egos. When things are great and things can get tough if the offense is struggling. So I'm not worried there. The keys for me is what is the DN going to look like, both DNs, the edge rushers, and that cornerback 2 position. Those are the 2 things I'm looking forward to the most because I think everything else on the Eagles team is really, really solid. I'd even go and say, other than maybe the edge rushers and that second cornerback position, the rest of the team is 100% elite.
Yeah, and going back to the offense, I had deja vu because I remember when we previewed the Eagles-Packers to start off last year, you got mad at the books because they were disrespecting Jalen Hurts. I think his line was around like 220 passing yards. And you're like, yeah, he's going to soar over that. Ended up with 278. They did it again. He's at 212.5 for this game. And we've talked about it before. Like maybe they give Saquon the ball a little less this year, soften the load. Hurts look great in the playoffs. Like 212 seems like a really low number.
212 does seem low. I like the over there. And if you remember, Saquon probably was accounted for 40 or 50 of those yards last year down in Brazil through the air. So just because Saquon's a threat to run the ball, he can be a threat in the passing game as well. So 212.5, very low line. Maybe they're predicting a blowout. Maybe they're predicting the Eagles chew clock. Nick Sirianni likes to air the ball out. We saw in the Super Bowl when they were up 30-6 or 30, whatever, the dagger, they like to call it, to kind of put the nail in the coffin of the Super Bowl. So Sirianni, not afraid to pass the ball at any point in the game. 212.5, very disrespectful in my opinion. I would take the over, have no problem taking it.
Yeah, and I like how you mentioned the blowout there because I did promise the people I'd bring back my anti-Eagles parlays this season. It's not going to be this game. I didn't do it against the Cowboys in the first year. It's not going to be against this game. I think we get a blowout. And I mentioned there was another stat from 1947. So the last time the Eagles had the 4-game win streak for home openers, which is their franchise record, the last game they won 45-42 in Washington, 1947. They're going to break that record. They're going to win their 5th straight home opener. And those 45 points were the most points they've ever scored in a home opener. They're also going to break that record. So 2 records will be broken by the Philadelphia Eagles tonight.
As well as them lifting the banner. It's interesting. I didn't expect you'd be this high on the Eagles opening night, especially against the Cowboys and Dak Prescott.
I think I'm just that low on the Cowboys too.
Yeah. I think a lot of people are. And another big unknown is the head coach, right? Like this guy wasn't in any head coaching pools coming into this year. Nobody even thought the Cowboys were going to hire him. They did. Just a puppet for Jerry to pull the strings on. And it's, one of those things that when you have such an unknown like this, and I know there's been unknowns in the past, you could even say Nick Sirianni was a little bit of an unknown when the Eagles hired him. People weren't expecting that. But I think this is even more down the line of, you'd say, like, kind of out of the blue. I don't even know how to say the guy's last name. I always screw it up. But Schottenheimer. I think he's a massive question mark. I don't know. What do you think?
No, it's a huge question mark. And I do have an angle on him in the bet I gave out on the roundtable. I won't give it away, but I did mention the player earlier, and I have an angle of why Brian Schottenheimer is going to cash that bet for me. But, yeah, I think he's going to want to – he's really going to try to be a locker room guy. I don't know if he's a great X's and O's guy. I really don't know enough about him to say he's bad or good. But he's really just going to have to take control of that locker room that seems like it has a lot of bad vibes around it. And maybe Parsons getting out of there helped out the vibes, but they remind me a lot of the Niners going into last year, where it's just a lot of chaos, a lot of talent, but a lot of chaos.
Yeah, and in the NFL, where these guys are pro athletes, so you just kind of assume they can handle it. But extra media attention, extra chaos, like you said, does not bode well going into a fresh NFL season where the optimism, even teams that are projected at 3, 4, 5 wins, the optimism, the energy is still really high. Stadiums across the National Football League are going to be sold out regardless of teams' expectations or projections. So you want to mitigate any kind of chaos, extra media attention. And I think the Cowboys did the exact opposite of that to then only open the season up on the road in Philly. We know what the crowd's going to bring. We know what the energy is going to bring. It's Super Bowl banner night. I just think it's a lot of moving parts going against the Cowboys, which is why, biased as I am on the Eagles, I do feel really good about tonight.
Yeah, I think the Cowboys' really only chance is the SEPTA trains have a little bit of rust on them, and the fans can't quite make it in by kickoff.
Little bit of rust, but FanDuel stepping up, opening up their checkbooks. They know they want to get people down there drunk. They'll make all the money back tomorrow night, probably in the first half, on how much they had to dump in. But they're paying for the express trains. They can't get the kids. They can't get the people who commute to work, but they can take care of the degenerate fans who need to get down to the stadium and watch their team. So FanDuel opening up the checkbook. For that. They are running the express trains. They'll be able to funnel people in and out of there at a lot quicker pace than what was expected just 24 hours ago.
It's maybe a little conspiracy theory there that all the Birds fans that are going to be betting the spread, maybe they're a little late to the game. Let the Cowboys stay in it for a little bit so the Cowboys cover.
Not anymore. They'll be there super early. So FanDuel nipped that public action right in the butt.
Well, we'll see how confident we truly are about this game in a little bit when we do our confidence picks, running through every game on the slate. But before we do that, let's get into some winners and losers. We had a crazy day of sports news.
We haven't. I feel like we haven't done this in a while, so it should be a pretty good segment. But I'll let you kick us off here, buddy.
Yeah. So my winner is going to be. This is one of the more crazy stories I've seen recently. Kawhi Leonard's bank account. Now the Clippers may be a loser for this, but Kawhi Leonard at least is a winner because he got paid $28 million to do nothing. And that do nothing is not him managing his load, and not playing in games, but he got paid $28 million to make a fake LLC and invest in a tree company that planted trees. And all he had to do was be a sponsor / marketer for it. Never did anything. Pablo Torre on his podcast today, come to find out, it was just to circumvent the cap. Basically, Steve Ballmer didn't want to pay him, so he made him invest in this fake LLC, got $28 million, and it's not looking good for the Los Angeles Clippers.
So I think the first time we really saw this on display was years ago when there was some funky stories with Robert Kraft funneling money through his charity to Tom Brady's bank account. So
the Braves every year too.
Yeah,
Braves and their Braves Foundation nonsense.
Yeah, so this is not new to the sports world, and guys getting paid out bonus funds to snake around the salary cap. We've seen it before, but good for Kawhi Leonard. He makes $28 million. Is the NBA going to have a hard stance on this? Adam Silver was at the U.S. Open last night watching tennis, so I don't think he's too concerned.
Yeah, the last time this happened in the NBA, Joe Smith with the Timberwolves, didn't really work out for them, but I guess they paid him under the table, and they had to forfeit 5 future first-round draft picks. I don't know if Adam Silver is going to want to do that to Steve Ballmer. I feel like Steve Ballmer brings in maybe one of the top earners he just built a huge new stadium. Like, he's not going to want to ruin his franchise.
They the way sanctions are handed down in all the major sports leagues, there's a favoritism aspect behind it in the league's own best interest, on how they're going to hand that out. So there could be a slap on the wrist. There could be something as serious as giving up future first-round picks. That's to wait and see. I would say the Clippers in general, though, they have no problem. They pawn those first-round picks off like, it's a piece of burnt toast that you throw out in the trash can. So whether they get stripped the first round picks, you might have to hit them a little harder if you want to make it hurt for Steve Ballmer and the entire Clippers organization. I don't know if first round picks will really do it for at least them.
Yeah, you might have to take away what I don't even know what company. He's some tech company. And
Shrink their salary cap for 2 years. They can't sign any mega deals for 2 years. I don't know.
They can't sign any more washed superstars to big contracts.
I don't know how you crack down and make it hurt, but at least for picks, I mean, dude, they haven't had a top 5 pick, it feels like, in 20 years.
Yeah, they had SGA, and then they sold him away to the Thunder, and that worked out great for them. I think that was the Paul George
SGA?
trade. Yeah, they drafted SGA, and they traded him in a
but that
couple
wasn't
first-round
their
picks for Paul
pick.
George. Well, I guess, yeah. Technically, it was the NBA is weird with that, where
Who
like
knows?
it's their pick, but
who knows?
Yeah, but shout out Kawhi Leonard getting paid more money to do nothing.
Kawhi gets a lot of stuff. So, all right, I'll jump into my winner here. Really, really special job by Khalil Shakir. I don't know if you saw, saved 19 dogs this past week from getting euthanized at the local SPCA, local dog shelter. So they were getting ready to obviously go under for good, and Khalil Shakir stepped in, comes in, saves the 19 dogs, helps foster them, find new homes. So I think a really good deed there. And why it's special for me, I have him as my current wide receiver too in fantasy. So great to see the guy doing good things off the field. I hope it translates to really good things on the field.
Yeah, Deion Dawkins, they showed on Hard Knocks. He's got a huge farm with a bunch of horses, had some dogs running around. So, yeah, why not just adopt every dog in Buffalo and just put it on that farm?
That's exactly what he did, man. But it's some sad stuff that goes on in the dog world, and we don't have to get into it because it's supposed to be a happy day today, and that's exactly what it is. But nice gesture there by Khalil Shakir. Let's hope it translates into good things on the field. We shall see.
Adopt, don't shop. That's the motto, people.
Way to go.
My loser, we get a little bit more sad here. It's going to be the viewing experience for a lot of young kids and middle-aged, not middle-aged, a lot of 20-something-year-olds trying to watch the NFL. We had 2 very sad news stories come out today. The first, Stream East is no longer a thing. RIP. I'm more sad about that for MLB games where I can't watch them because of blackout restrictions. Stream East was always my go-to, so that's a real shame. Secondly, ESPN ruined another program. We have commercials in Redzone. It's not the in-shot commercials we saw last year that people were already mad about. We have full-on commercials. And I already know this is going to be the 4 o'clock hour where Scott Hansen kind of already mails it in. But we're going to get, like, when there's 2 or 3 games on, there's going to be commercials every 5 minutes. They're going to save the witching hour. There'll be nothing during that. And then they're going to backload every commercial for the last 3 hours of Redzone. It's going to be unwatchable.
I was trying to analyze and pick apart exactly how this is going to go down, and we won't know until Sunday, 1 o'clock Eastern, until we actually see. But it was funny. Somebody posted a clip, and it was a remake of the Bears Commanders Hail Mary last year, and right as he let the ball go, it went to the Burger King, the famous commercial that everybody knows, the Whopper, this and that. So, yeah, I mean, how are they going to time that kind of stuff up, right? I mean, Red Zone's just kind of running clock of all the games. Are they just going to set times and right before the big play, you're on the edge of your seat and it cuts to a commercial? I don't know. I think you have a good point there with them potentially backloading the entire show. You get your gist of the 1 o'clock games. Between that 4 and 4:25 spot seems like a sweet spot, and then America's Game of the Week comes on, and then maybe they tone it back down. I'm not sure how, or no, that's not witching hours 3 to 4 Eastern, so that wouldn't interrupt that there. But I don't know how they're going to do it. It does feel like it's being ruined, and I do feel sad to go back to your original point. We grew up, we were spoiled with Red Zone. It'll never be the same.
No, and this may be a little telling little kids Santa Claus isn't real type thing, but to the people out there that still think everything on Red Zone is live, it's not. They do cut 2 touchdowns that have already happened. So I'm sure they can still get away with doing that and putting the commercials in. And now just more people are going to realize not everything's live and not every touchdown you see is happening as Scott Hansen is panning to it.
Well, they like to make it seem like that.
Yeah. And I may have just ruined Redzone already for some people, but it's getting ruined anyway.
So, a lot of people.
So deal with it. Also, last thing on Stream East, Egyptian government, shame on you. It was 2 Egyptians that ran Stream East, and that government can protect all the secrets of the Great Pyramids, but they couldn't protect a simple piracy stream going on. So shame on you, Egyptian government.
So what exactly happened there? I did see something about that. I also saw something get tweeted out by an X account.
That is the official.
Was it them?
People. It is them. The thing is, I think, and I told this to my buddies already, I think they're trying to get the impression money to help with the lawyer fees that they're going to have to pay soon.
So what exactly happened? I mean, nobody knew who actually ran it, so that's how they were able to skate along.
Yeah, and they had the whole VPNs and pinging it off a bunch of different IP addresses. What I really think happened, and this may be a tinfoil hat thing, may be pretty obvious to some people, but I think Roger Goodell and the NFL were like, all right, we have our season coming up. It's time to finally catch these motherfuckers, and that's exactly what they did.
Yeah. Wow, interesting. We'll see if they actually do or don't. I have a couple sites, Brian. I can tell them to you off camera, but we're not going to go and expose that. All right, my loser of the week. Not sure if it was intentional or not. Framber Valdez absolutely smoking his catcher 2 nights ago on a fastball. The catcher so clearly set up for something in the dirt, curveball, off speed, whatever you want to call it, and he just gave him 95, 96 down the chute. So if you're not understanding what I'm saying, the catcher thought he was going to throw an off-speed pitch. Framber Valdez threw 199 down the pipe. Why Framber Valdez was getting shelled, already 5 or 6 runs allowed. Maybe the catcher was calling pitches he didn't want to throw is there. The catcher's reaction looked like he was like, dude, Valdez, what the hell are you doing? Framber immediately turned around and looked pretty ticked off as well. So seemed intentional. Brian, was it intentional or not?
Yeah, it was very intentional. And I think the funniest outcome of this whole thing, and Yankees fans pointed this out, as well as Astros fans, it was a 93-mile-per-hour fastball right down the pipe, and Anthony Volpe did not swing. It all could have been avoided if he just would have swung at the bat.
That's another hilarious angle. I forget what the count was. Maybe it was 2-0 or 3-0 or who knows what the count was. But it was a meatball. It was definitely a meatball. I mean, it was 93, no movement, right down the gun. The catcher just thought off speed in the dirt was coming. And
it's so dangerous, dude. Like, there's going to be an internal investigation. And if he really did do it on purpose, and I don't know how you can really read his guilt there to figure it out, but
if the coach sent in the curveball, the catcher put down the curveball, the catcher sent up for the curveball, all side, like you go and analyze past pitches of him throwing and him not missing the side and it all coming together. And then on this one random time, he throws 95 down the gun. Seems like you have your answer right there.
Yeah, I wonder if pitch comms have like a black box like airplanes do.
Yeah,
where you could just see the history like that. I mean, maybe his pitch comm was broken, and that's how he got away with it. I don't know enough context, but
look, we're less than 48 hours removed from the incident happening, so maybe there is some kind of investigation because you're right that is a guy going to die? No, but I mean, maybe breaks his wrist depending on what happens.
Concussed. I just had to deal with it.
Yeah, I mean, there's some injuries that could come of it, and it's 90. Yeah, just not a good scene you want for a professional game. And, we'll see what happens over the next couple hours. We know Rob Bamford pretty easy on the Astros. So is it a team crackdown? I don't know how this gets policed or disciplined, but we'll see.
Yeah, it's going to be really – Astros are just always in the news for the wrong reasons, it feels like.
For the wrong reasons, but win titles. It's the dumbest thing. But we'll see what happens. I'm not concerned about them this year. But, all right, Brian, I know we're running short on the clock here. Let's hit some confidence picks.
Yeah, let's do it. Week 1 confidence pick. Jack is not here, so he gets 0 points for week 1, and he probably won't be able to win. So that's what you get for playing kickball, Jack. I will run through my confidence picks real quick here. 16, I have the Broncos over the Titans. That is my survivor poll pick for week 1. 15, I have the Eagles over the Cowboys. I already explained why. They're going to score 45-plus points. Cardinals over the Saints for 14, starting Cardinals defense in every fantasy league. Bengals over the Browns at 13. Jags over the Panthers at 12. Patriots over the Raiders. Big Drake May guy this year at 11. Rams over the Texans. Rams got to get the season started off right. Commanders over the Giants, unfortunately. I made a side bet with my buddy at work. I have to eat the amount of hot dogs the Giants lose by, and vice versa if the Giants win. So that'll be interesting. 49ers over Seahawks for 8 points. Falcons over the Bucks for 7. Steelers over the Jets and the Aaron Rodgers revenge games for 6. Dolphins over the Colts 5. I have no idea who's going to win that game. Chiefs over the Chargers for 4. Lions over the Packers 3. Bills over the Ravens for 2. And the Bears over the Vikings, again, no idea, Monday night for 1.
Bears over Vikings, interesting. I do think if Sam Darnold's there, that's an easier pick. J.J. McCarthy, you don't know what you're going to get. So we'll see what happens. I also think, I think you're more confident in the Eagles than I am. I'm confident, but I don't know that I would put them second on my board here.
Yeah, there's a lot of competitive, at least on paper. It looks like we're going to get a lot of competitive games here in week 1.
And that's the problem in week 1. You really have no idea, man. I mean, We're just throwing darts at a dartboard here. We have a sense of an idea of what we think's going to happen. But, I mean, week 1 in the NFL, there's always a team that comes out. The Vikings last year won 13 games. Did anybody think they were going to do that with Sam Darnold before the year started? Absolutely not. So, yeah, I'll jump through mine here. I know I didn't put them in the board. We're running tight on the schedule all day, so lacked on that. But I will try and stay afloat here while doing this off the air. I do like the Broncos over the Titans, though, to kick things off. That was my number one or biggest bold prediction, right? I have the Broncos winning the AFC West. I will go Cardinals over Saints. I think the Saints are going to be really bad this year. I will take the Bengals over the Browns. I will then take the Eagles over the Cowboys is where I like that as well. Brian, appreciate you jotting these in as I go along here to try.
Yeah, I think I've already lost.
We went Broncos over Titans, Cardinals over Saints, Bengals over Browns, Eagles over Cowboys. It does get tough.
It's tough. A lot of competitive games.
There's a lot of competitive games. Where did you put? Oh, I'll go Chiefs over Chargers. I think the Chiefs win on the road. I think you have them way down low is nuts.
If the Chiefs lose, it's always in the beginning. That's why I'm always kind of.
Yeah, I got you. I'll take Steelers over Jets. I just think there's no way the Jets under that new regime are coming out week 1. I don't care that it's at home. I will throw. Oh, dude, it does get tricky. I'll go Bucks over Falcons. I don't like the Falcons this year at all. Bucks I'll take. I think Abuka has a big week 1. We will go Niners over Seahawks. We will go Rams over Texans. We will go, here's one that's going to get people a little fired up. We're going to go Panthers over Jaguars.
I know you like the Panthers this year.
I do, and I like them a lot. Let's go Dolphins over Colts. I'm fine with that there. Here.
We got Lions, Packers, Bills, Ravens, Bears, Vikings.
Oh, I'll take the Raiders over the Pats.
Commanders, Giants. You haven't done yet.
Wait, no, I said Raiders over the Pats, and you give me the Pats.
Oh, you said Raiders.
Is that in New England?
Yes.
I actually like the Pats. Yeah, keep the Pats. Keep the Pats. Oh, that's a tricky one, though. I think it's a very tricky game. The Pats play well at home, though. They always do, regardless of team. I took the Dolphins. I will go. I feel like I'm missing one up here.
You got Bears, Bills, Lions,
I'll go
Giants, Commanders.
Can I flip the Dolphins and put the Commanders there?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I'll put the Dolphins in at 4. And then I just have these last 3.
Yep.
I'll go Bills over Ravens because they're at home. I'll go. Is that week 1 game in Minnesota?
It's Chicago.
I'll still take the Vikings week 1. I know that's tricky. And then final game, Packers over
Green
Lions. Bay. I know it's in Green Bay. Packers have not lost a home opener in a while.
All right, that's the That's the conference picks. And just real quick, I'll go over because that was kind of jumpy.
I know it's jumpy. I'll be better rest of the year. It's week 1. Let's get the rust off.
Week 1 for us too. So you have Broncos, Cardinals, Bengals, Eagles, Chiefs, Steelers, Bucks, 49ers, Rams, Panthers, Commanders, Pats, Dolphins, Bills, Vikings, Packers.
Beautiful.
All right. Well, that is the show for all of you watching on YouTube. Again, we'll put the banner up top if you want to go watch our live stream of the draft that we did last night. For those of you listening on Spotify, Apple, wherever you get your podcasts, you'll go right to the draft recording. See you guys soon.